Gardensuites are an exciting new housing opportunity for homeowners and investors to add fully separate detached housing units in their yards, all without the hurdles and costs associated with traditional development. So what are these things? They're officially known as detached accessory residential units, but more often they're referred to as coach houses, backyard homes, accessory dwelling units, ADUs, and sometimes laneway suites. For simplicity, I'm just going to call them garden suites. These are detached structures within an existing residential property containing its entirely own living room, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. They're a rapidly growing trend in cities and towns across North America and are a partial solution to rapid urbanization, affordability, and the desire for many multi-generational households to reside on the same property. In 2019, the province of Ontario passed Bill 108, the More Homes, More Choice Act, which mandates that every municipality in Ontario will eventually need to have policies in place to allow garden suites to exist in homes that already have second suites. Effectively, these are going to be like third units. Before we start, it would be really helpful if you can like this video and subscribe to this channel so that we can get more videos like this out to you and other folks. Right now, I'm in beautiful Brantford, Ontario, which is one of the many Ontario municipalities that allow garden suites since 2020 and have bylaws in place to regulate their construction. At the time of this video, we already have other cities such as Barrie, Guelph, and Welland on board, and very soon we're also going to have Kitchener, Hamilton, and of course Toronto having policies in place. This is going to be huge in the coming years and is a great opportunity to use garden suites to build wealth and create more housing options for our communities. Garden suites are great for many people, and I'll list just a few here. Number one, family members and friends who wish to live close together but still maintain privacy, which is excellent for aging parents or adult children, all while reducing expenses. Number two, an additional mortgage helper for your home that you can move into or rent out the main house for even higher income. Number three, investors who want to obtain a high cash flow on their property by building a house on land that they already own. Now, we're going to go over a few major factors that you need to be aware of before considering adding a garden suite to your property. But before we do that, I really want to highlight some of the benefits of garden suites. There are a tremendous number of advantages to garden suites. Some of them include, number one, additional housing units in low-density areas without changing the look and feel of neighborhoods. Number two, better use of existing city services and infrastructure. Number three, they help to repopulate areas in decline and creates greater demand for local businesses. Number four, they help to create a better sense of community. Number five, it's an additional security for low-density areas with extra set of eyes watching the neighborhood. Number six, it's affordable housing option for young people, small families, seniors, and individuals. Number seven, it's a great option for seniors to age in place in the community they are accustomed to. Number eight, it creates jobs for the local economy. Number nine, it's a great option for multi-generational families to live in proximity while maintaining privacy. And finally, number 10, it's additional financial security for homeowners and small investors. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way and you're now all on board with me, let's get down to the nitty-gritty on some of the important considerations for building these. These items will typically be very common among every municipality, but the exact rules will vary between them. Before you do anything, make sure you do your due diligence, call the city, or visit their website to get more information. Going forward, I'll also be creating short videos for a bunch of cities and towns across Ontario and outlining what their rules are. I don't think I'll be able to get to every city, but we'll cover many of the major ones here in the Greater Golden Horseshoe at least. So the first item to consider is zoning. For most municipalities, the goal is to densify many of the low-rise residential areas without changing the look of the neighborhood. These would be zoned as R1 neighborhoods in many cities. So you need to find out first if the zoning for your property is in compliance to allow garden suites. Secondly, you need to consider the lot size. The objective for the cities is to build these on generously sized lots, so often they will have a minimum lot size requirement before you can build a garden suite. An example may be a minimum of 4,000 square feet or 5,000 square feet. Make sure you check the minimum lot size requirements for your city or town. The third item is the unit size itself. They definitely don't want you to overbuild on the site. An oversized garden suite will affect adjacent neighbors, potentially create undesirable shadow effects, and increase water runoff. The general intent is that the garden suites will be subordinate in size to the main house. To enforce the size of the units, there may be a few criteria in place. There may be a hard limit on the maximum size of the units, such as 800 square feet, or a maximum percentage of the entire property, such as 10% of the lot area. Sometimes it can be a percentage of all buildings on the lot, including the main house and other accessory structures. For example, they may say it cannot be more than 40% of the lot coverage for all the buildings on the property. They may even say that it has to be a maximum percentage of the main house, such as 50%, or limit the number of bedrooms in the garden suite. A common one would be to say a maximum 2 bedrooms. In other cases, they may not care what the total floor space is as long as you maintain a certain percentage of the overall footprint of the lot. So you may potentially be able to build a basement and even a second story if you comply with height restrictions, which segues us into the next item. Ensure that you know the rules for the maximum size that you can build one of these units. As mentioned above, the fourth item is height. The restriction will generally dictate whether you can build a single story or a two-story garden suite. An example may be 10 feet or 20 feet. Normally, to determine the height of the building, you want to take an average of the ground on the outside to the average height of the roof. If you have a flat roof, it would of course be to the top of the roof. The fifth item is parking. If the garden suite you're building is the third suite, then in most cases you would need at least one parking space for each unit. Many cities will allow these to be tandem parking spaces, basically meaning single file parking. Now, even if your town or city allows tandem parking, it's recommended creating non-tandem spaces if possible so that parked cars won't be obstructing one another. That's of course if your expectation is that all occupants residing on your property will have vehicles. You may have people living who don't own cars, or maybe you're in an area with great public transit options. And in some areas where public transit is abundant, the bylaws may be different, where parking requirements are going to be less restrictive. All the items discussed so far are bylaws that are specific to each city. There may be exemptions for lot size minimums, unit size maximums, height restrictions, and parking. If you wish to deviate slightly from the items outlined, you may apply for a minor variance with the city. This, however, will cost you both time and money. And it's also a public process, which means that your neighbors will have the opportunity to voice their concerns. In some cases, it may be worth engaging the services of a private urban planner to assist with your project. If you're able to comply with everything in the existing bylaws, then you're doing everything by right or as of right. So one last item we want to discuss, which is the connection of utilities. For the most part, you would not be able to connect services directly to the city infrastructure for the garden suite, but rather you would be going through the services of the main house. And you also won't be able to use septic systems or well water unless you're in a rural area where garden suites are allowed, and that's the only option. So those are the items I wanted to highlight that you need to be fully aware of if you're planning to build a garden suite on the property that you're going out shopping for, or if it's an existing house you have. So these include zoning, lot size minimums, unit size maximums, height restrictions, parking requirements, and finally utility connections. There are other factors, so be sure to do your homework for each city before you perform any real estate transactions. Only hire professionals with the proper qualifications and the right experience to help you with your project. Again, I feel strongly that garden suites are a great opportunity for many homeowners and small investors to not only help build wealth, but create very desirable housing options in our neighborhoods. So what are your thoughts? Did I miss anything? Can you think of any other potential advantages of garden suites that I didn't cover? Or perhaps there were some drawbacks that I didn't discuss. So please feel free to share them below, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and we will definitely respond to everyone. Again, going forward, I will be creating more videos that are customized to individual towns and cities across the greater Golden Horseshoe, so stay tuned. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn more about investing in housing densification and how you can get involved, hit that subscribe button. I put together a beginner's guide. We cover important bylaw and building code requirements for cities in Ontario and all the design considerations you need to make to successfully complete your project. You can download that through the link in the description below. Until next time, to your success.